Greetings, this is Edward Ojambo. In this tutorial, which is a continuation from the tutorial from yesterday, we're going to create the endpoint for the AJAX multiple file upload using PHP and MariaDB. Before we continue, quick reminder that every day I do a live stream at 2 p.m. Eastern. So if you visit ojambo.com, go to watch menu, live summary, you can see the topics for this and upcoming tutorials. And you're free to join the live chat and post anything about programming or lifestyle topics. As you can see with this article here, there's a link to this live stream. If you don't want to do that, you can simply watch the video. The video is also embedded in this article. I'll scroll down and I'll show you that. So that's it. Also, be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for not just more frequent content, but also to help grow the channel and help other people who are either learning or they want to improve their skills and in programming or other tech related topics. Okay, now back to the tutorial. So this is going to be a beginner's guide. It's going to be beginner friendly, sorry. So I did something very similar a long time ago when the channel first started, I think in 2009 or 10. So yeah, that's like 15 years ago. I did a tutorial on this. I haven't done one similar to this since, but I hope you guys do like it. Okay, once again, as I said in the previous tutorial, we just focused on the front end. So the front end, as you see up here in this screenshot, we just we made the HTML part, we added the JavaScript for the functionality, but we didn't do the backend. So today, if you remember yesterday in the tutorial, it would say error when you try to do an upload. So in today's, we're going to actually have the upload working properly with the AJAX and the MariaDB. So for the backend, what you do need obviously is PHP. You can use any other backend programming language, or it could be like Node.js, could be Python, C, C++, Rust, etc. But I'm going to use PHP in today's tutorial. And you need a database. So to follow with this particular database, you just need MySQL. In this case, I'm using MariaDB, but they're they're compatible. I mean, what I'm saying is, if you're following along with MySQL, you can still do the same thing. So one way for you guys, if you don't want to install PHP and MariaDB, you can get a virtual machine, or you can get, for example, something like Podman or Docker, or you can even get there's something called LAMP, and that works. It's cross-platform, works in Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. I've used it on all platforms. There are others. For example, there's WAMP. There's obviously for Mac OS. There's MAMP for MAMP is for Mac OS, WAMP is for Windows, and for Linux. I usually don't need that because you can just install it from your repos, but that's what I do. That's what it's called, LAMP, L-A-M-P, for the L is for Linux, W is for Windows, M is for obviously Mac OS. Okay, so what we're going to do is, because our form is only having one type, which is the file. So for validation, we're just going to check the file size, the type, and the quantity. That's what we're going to do. And for processing, we're going to save the file. So you have a few options. You can save the file in a secure location. What I recommend is outside of the web root. I'll explain that later. Or what you can do is, what we're going to do today is I'm going to actually save it inside the database. Yes, you heard me right. I'm going to save the file inside the database. And then you can save the recording file's information, like obviously its location, the name, the path, maybe a user ID. You can save all that stuff into the database. For today's tutorial, we're just going to save all we need is just save the name and create a unique ID. That's it. And then basically PHP will be doing it's managing the operations like deletion, if you want to add that, and replacement. Now in a previous tutorial, when I did the to-do list, you can follow that for how to delete and how to edit. And obviously for replacement, you guys can figure that out yourself. If you want me to continue this series again with the deletion and replacement, I can do that as well. Actually, in a future tutorial, I'm going to show you how to do a preview. So maybe we can continue this. Maybe that will be like a part 3 of this tutorial. Maybe that's what I'll do. Okay, so PHP has a specific, I guess it's called a super global array for you. It's called files. It's $_files, all caps. That will have all the file information, and you can use that. You see that in the code. So if you guys are impatient, you can simply grab the code here, just expand and grab it there. And then if you want to make delete ones, I have some samples here for you, and they said this is right from the previous tutorials. You can just create a delete. We're not going to do any deletes here, I said, because it's very, I said I've done tutorials like that before, so we can probably do that in a future one. I just want to get this up and finish up quickly. So I have screenshots here for you guys, what the code I'm using, and obviously I will drag, and if there's a problem, this is obviously from last time, I do say there's a problem here, otherwise, and then here's the database as well. So this is a live stream, and to prove it, I'm going to hit the play button here, and there you can see. So I think it's just a few milliseconds. So Jagdish Lodi, I think I said that right. Thanks for the thumbs up in the live chat. Okay, with that said, I'm going to drop to, before I drop to the command, I know to open up any code here. Actually, I'm not sure what to do first. You know what? Let's do the setup first. Let's do the setup first. So I have HTTP server, which is Apache, but I'm not going to use that. I'll use the built-in one. You can use Apache or Nginx, any HTTP. So I'm going to use the built-in PHP web server, but I do need a database. I'm going to use MariaDB, as I said. So I've already started that, and I'm going to use PHP-myadmin just for you guys. So I'm going to log in here, if I remember the password. Okay. I'm going to maybe zoom out a little bit here. It's a little bit, no, I think it'll be fine. So there's a database here called Guy that stands for generative AI. So I use this one for the testing stuff, and you see there's upload. I think it's called uploads or upload files, one of them. So let's see, is it this one? Oh, no, it's not this one. It's the other one. See, there's a lot of testing. There's this one, uploaded files. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah, this is the one. So you see there's an ID that will be auto incrementing. I'll show you that in a second. And then the file name, and then the MIME type, and the file size, and this is the blob. This is the actual file we're saving. I don't recommend you do this. For small little things, yeah, you can do this, but for large files, I don't recommend you do this. And there's also a timestamp for when it was uploaded. So the structure for this one is the structure, is it this one? Yeah, here goes structure. Here goes structure. See the structure. The ID is an auto incrementing one. It's a type of int. A file name, I used varchar, but you can. Sometimes I get lazy. I just use text. The MIME type of varchar, again 100. Sometimes like I get lazy and use text. And then the size, it's an integer as well. It's unsigned, meaning that it can be as big as it needs to be. And then the file data type, it's a long blob. The blob, that's where we save, because it's going to be what we need to do is we need to convert the file into text. Yes, you heard me right. So basically we use something like base64, we encode it that way, and we've converted it into text, and then we need to save it into this column or field, and then upload it at uploaded _at. That's a timestamp. So you see here the default is set to current timestamp, so we don't have to type that. It will automatically, whenever you create a new row, it will automatically do this for you. So remember, the ID and uploaded _at, those will be automatically filled. We can, but it doesn't make sense. It will just let it fill those in for us. Auto incrementing needs to go. It'll be like by default it's 1, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so that's how that works. So right now there's some data. I'm going to go back to this table, and I'm going to delete. Before I delete that, I'll come back to this. I think I can simply wipe it out and it will create the table for me if I'm correct, but I'll check the code. I don't remember. So here we go. I'm going to open up this file, and I'm going to show you, this is our HTML file. I'll explain that very quickly, and this is our endpoint. So first, let's take a look at the HTML. If you guys remember, it's very simple HTML. This is from last time. We have the doc type, HTML tag, then we have a title. The title says HTML multiple file upload. The char set is UTF-8, but I'm using Linux. So POS type systems, that's Linux, Unix, Mac OS, BSDs, they use UTF-8 by default. In the past, Windows used to use UTF-16. I don't know if they have switched over or they still do that. I don't use Windows, so I'm not sure. Here's my styling. I explained this last time, so I'm just going to zip right through this. You can watch the previous tutorial and you see here the keyframes for the animation. Explained all that last time. And here's the HTML code. We have the drop area. We have the file element, which we set it to. Basically, we set it to display none. The reason for this is we want people to drag and drop. If people they want to drag and drop, they want to click this, so then we'll make it visible so they can use their file browser as well. And you see it says multiple. Multiple means they can put multiple files. The difference is we also have an accept. So right now we only accept image files. If it's not an image, if it's a MIME type is not an image, it will be rejected. And then we have the script here to grab this, and we have the drag enter, drag over, drag leave, and drop. We disable the default behavior because we don't need them. If you don't do that, people will be able to drag things out of the drag area. So that's why we have all this, prevent the normal drag behavior for those ones. So you can see here, prevent default and stop propagation. And then what we want to do is the handler, meaning that when people stop and they drag into there, we create a variable where we can grab all of those files. You see here, const files, and then we send them to our upload function here. And also when if people prefer to do the click instead of dragging and dropping, we also create all the files there. When we changes, because you can remove or add, so we also call our upload files function. You see it says the E target files. The E is an event listener. The target will be the actual, this one here, file input. I explained this in tutorials last year when I was promoting my Learning JavaScript book and course. And then here, this is just a bonus, just hover classes. So basically when you hover over, it will have, when you mouse over the drag area, it will give it a different colors, just an indicator. And when you leave, the class will be removed. So here's the upload function. So what will happen is we create a form data, and we have a status bar as well. So for example, the status will say failed or success. And then we have a progress bar. If the file is very, very long, we just give people an indication what's going on. So as you can see, those files, we just we append them to this form data object. I went over this last time. I also talked about this here, the fetch. So the fetch, you see, now that we have our actual endpoint, we point it there, which is, in this case, it's upload hyphen endpoint hyphen MySQL.php. And then the method is post. Then the body is just going to be the form data, and that's it. And then fetch uses then. So then we get the response. If the response is okay, the status will change. The div for the status will change to upload successful, and then the progress bar obviously will be turned off. So that's why it's display none. Else it will say upload failed, and then it will put this. Obviously, the progress bar doesn't make sense then, so we also put it to display none. And then if everything is okay, it's going to return a JSON. And then if there's any errors, we capture errors. You see the status of the div will say error, and whatever the error message is. The progress bar will obviously be, it doesn't make sense, so the progress bar will be hidden. And in the console, we also put an upload, and we'll put the actual error so you can see other all the error messages. The starter bar will just put only the error message itself, but the console, because it will be the error will contain other things besides the message. So if you want to read more about it, you can take a look at that. And then after that, so when everything is going on, the status div will say uploading with the ellipsis, that's 3 dots. And the progress bar will show, it will show a block, and by default we set it to 50%. So it will move depending on the how much more time is there. Alright, I've also created upload examples, I think even just this year in 2025, where I showed you how you can move the progress bar, the percentage wise, depending on the size of the upload. Okay, so with that said, now let's take a look at our endpoint, the PHP file. Yeah, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So you see, this is the database configuration. We have the local host, and this is the database name, the database user, and the database password. And then we're going to use MySQL improved. The reason I'm not using PDO, which stands for PHP data object, is because MySQL improved is specific to MySQL, meaning that if there's anything new or any improvement, it will pick, it will use it. So it's going to be faster than using the PDO. The problem with the PDO, it's a generic one, meaning that it uses, it's meant to work on 12 different databases, whether it's SQLite, Oracle, MySQL, Microsoft Server, MS Server, and others, Progress. So it's generic, meaning that it won't have things specific to each of those databases. While this one is very specific only to MySQL. The I stands for improved. Okay, and then after that you check the connection. If the connection is there's a problem, we exit and just, or we could put, sometimes you might see die, but because we're using JSON, so that's why we echo the JSON message, a database connection failed. And yeah, so I do remember this. So this is good. If the table doesn't exist, it's going to create it. That's why it says create table if not exist. This is obviously SQL code. And you see it says upload underscore files, and you see the ID is auto increment. Like I said before, you guys already seen this. The file name, MIME type, those are both varchars. The size is an integer. The file data is a long blob, and then uploaded at is a timestamp. So this is how you create it. And then you see it's going to query, and meaning it's going to create the table. And then if we have the files uploaded, it will then, if it's not set, so it will give an error message, and then the JSON will say error, no files uploaded. So remember, because we're using AJAX, so, and we're expecting a JSON response, so that's why we have to encode all our messages here. And else, so obviously, if you guys are learning PHP, you don't have to put else here, obviously, because we have the exit, meaning that it won't execute if this is true. So if this is not true, that also means else. That's a quick way of programming. So we come here, we grab files, we count how many files there are, and then we have another variable for saved. So what we do is we use a prepare statement. So this is a way to, as I said, one of the problems with the files is we don't have a way to validate them or to sanitize them. So the only thing we did there is to make sure the images that people can easily, use JavaScript or hack to just send it. So so some improvements here will be to check to see if it's really an image, right? And I think I did that in a previous tutorial as well. There are ways you can check, and so you just look at. I said this tutorial, I didn't want to take too long, but I'm saying is that I wanted to keep it basic to get you started, but I'm saying you can look at other tutorials I've done which will go in more into depth. So let's talk about the prepared statement here. So it's insert into upload files, the file name, MIME types, size, and file data. And the values, you see the values are in parentheses, and it's question marks, all of them. Comma separated question marks. So this is basically later we'll bind all these values to this column names. And then after that, we just use a simple for loop, and we loop through all the we loop through all the files, and we're basically looking to see if any of them have an issue. If any of them have an issue, as you can see here, continue means that we skip the errored files. After that, so that's the first thing we do. If everything's okay, meaning we haven't skipped it. We get the name of the file, so we use a built-in PHP function called why is there a red line below the bar? Oh, you're talking about this one here? No, this was just what do you call it? This red line here. This is for proving that I'm doing a live stream. So if I just refresh the page, you see it will just show that. So the red line is no longer there. Or if you're talking about this line here, this is because this is not going all the way down there. So there we go. That we get rid of it. Where was I here? The base name is a built-in PHP. Base name is a built-in PHP function that will actually grab the actual name of something. So if you have a URL or a path, it will just get the one after the slash. So that's what that does. We'll get the actual name, and then the MIME type. It will get the MIME type of it, and then let's say it's a PDF file. A PDF file will be something like application/PDF. If it's an image, it will be image/ whatever it is, a JPEG, GIF, WebP, AVIF, etc. And then the file size. These are all built-in PHP functions. It will give us the file size. And then finally, we use file get contents, which actually get the contents and put them into the file data. Put them into this file data here. Then after that, all we do, excuse me. Hello, Apex boy. Good to see you again. And then what we do is we bind. So you see here this bind SSIS. I'll explain that in a second. You see the file name, MIME type, size, and file, which I've done here. So S obviously stands for string, because the file name and MIME type are going to be strings, and the file data is also going to be a string. I'll explain that in a bit. And you see I here, that's for integer, because the size is going to be a number. It's always going to be a number. It's not going to be a decimal number. It's always going to be an integer. So that's why it's an I here. So that's what it is. Yeah. And then after that, because remember this file data, it's going to be a very big file, because the file is compressed. Like what do you mean? Images, PDF files, they're compressed. So when you do this, it decompresses them. And then after that, you see send long data. The reason we do this is because this guy, it's going to be very okay. Oh, Jadesh, no, Jagdes. Hi, Jagdes. Great to have you guys here. So where was I here? Yeah. So we need to this send long data. I'll explain this in a second. And then it says file data. So remember when we changed this file, we made this file data. We grabbed it, so it's still a binary file. So it's send long data. This will do the conversion for us into as a blob. Now the number 3 here might confuse you. It confused me when I started programming as well. And one thing you have to remember when you do programming is that the number actually starts at 0. So for us humans, we start at number 1, but in programming it starts at 0. So what that means is that you see here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. However, in the computer language, it's actually 0, 1, 2, 3. So that's why I put the 3 here. So meaning it's actually number 3. So that's one thing that will trick you when you're learning how to program. But as long as you remember that in programming languages, the numbering system always starts at 0, then you'll be fine. It's very confusing because when they teach you math, they always tell you, 0 means nothing. It's 1, 2, 3. Like they'll tell you that how much? Okay, do you want to have 1 or 0? You obviously want to have 1. Like something, I'll give you $1, right? Of course, I don't want $0. I want $1, right? So that's what you think. But in computer, it doesn't matter. It's 0 means really 1, which is really, I said, it's really confusing. And then after that, we execute. So this is our prepared statement. And then this statement affected rows. This is just this means that something has changed. So if it's greater than 0, meaning that something changed, the answer is true, then the saved will be plus plus. Then after that, what we do is we do some cleanup here. We close the statement and we close the connection. And then after that, so you don't need to do this part here because it's gonna close anyway, but it's good practice because I've seen code where people forget to do this and then it will run out of memory. So it's a good practice to always do this, even though in my particular case it's not needed, but it's very good practice to do that. Okay, after that we create our response. We just echo JSON encode. The status we say success, and the message we just say saved files uploaded successfully. Now what we should really do is we should also maybe, saved is this variable here. So for example, if I put 2 files, it's going to say 2 files uploaded successfully. If it's 1 file, it'll say 1 file uploaded successfully. And that's it. And by the way, if you see these square brackets here, this is something which I'm really glad PHP finally implemented. That just means it's an array. Before they made you type the word array, but I like this because this is more standard in programming language. Just the square brackets means it's an array. And then after that, I put this die here. The reason I put this here, just a second, Apex, I'll explain that. So the reason I put this die here is because sometimes when things are, if you have a lot of stuff going on, like maybe you forgot to, if you have a space here, it will still continue running if this is taking too long. So we put the die here, meaning that it won't continue past this. It will wait until this is finished and then it will close. So that's the reason. And then here I have a closing PHP tag, but you don't actually need this. So now I'm going to answer your question. Why we use JSON encode? That's because PHP. This is PHP. So we need JSON encode because we have to encode this array as a JSON file. So that's why. So what I'm saying is that we want to return an array. We want to return an array. So we can't simply just echo the array. We need to JSON encode it. So JSON JSON is it's a JavaScript notation. It's just text. However, we need to let PHP know that it has to return as a JSON. So that's why it's called JSON encode here. So that's the reason, because we're passing an array. You see, I think I also encoded other. Yeah, here, for example, this was an error. You see, I want to return another array here, so I also JSON encoded. The reason for this is because if you remember, if you look at our code here, when we send it to this PHP file here, you see we get the response, and you see the response has to be JSON. This means that it expects. You see, it says assuming the backend returns JSON. So it's expecting a JSON to be returned. So that's why we need to encode it. You can do other things like XML, but JSON is just easier because it's I like, for example, I personally like using arrays, so I don't have to convert it I don't have to convert like an array into XML and then return it. Just simpler for me. So, and also the good thing about the by using JSON is that you can do things, you can do more things. I've done tutorials on that as well. So with JSON, if you return it as a JSON object, you can simply just echo it out here by putting something like, I'll give you an example here. So the last part here, you see we have status and message. So what you can do is you can simply just echo it out. Just put whatever the response will be, I guess, Well, this one doesn't really explain it, but yeah, no, this is not actually good. Let me, I'm not actually using it. So what I should actually do is, where it says, when it's actually finished, I should actually do something with it. But I could probably I should really be doing something with it. Maybe, I said I've done tutorials on that. I said maybe in the future tutorial I also use some of that returned code. So yeah, maybe I should do that as well. But that's it. So that's the code here. So now what I'm going to do is, before I run this, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to delete this table. So there's a couple ways to delete. I can delete it individually. I can select all of them. See, check. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So I can select all of them and then hit delete. That's one way to do it. But since the table is going to be created, I'm just going to delete the table itself. So what I do is I go to the database, and this table here says upload underscore files. I'm just going to drop it. You want to drop the table? Yes, I want to drop it. So the table doesn't exist. Okay, so it's going to be created by the PHP. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to the command line here. You see, this is how I started. I started zoom here. This is what I did. I started the MariaDB and I started HTTP. This is Apache, but I'm not going to use Apache. I'm just going to use the built-in PHP server, which you should not use in production. So that's the PHP space -s. It's called a development server for a reason, and I'm going to 0.0.0.0 : I'll use 8000. So as you can see here, it has started. You see, it says PHP development server. Obviously, I'm using Fedora 42, so it comes with PHP 8.4.13. So all I need to do now is just go to HTTP : whatever / the IP address, or the 127.1.0.0.1, or I can go to localhost 8000. I'll try local. No, I can try localhost. That's what I'm going to do here. So I go here. I just type localhost 8000, and because it's not so it didn't find anything. So the one I want is this one here. So I'm just going to copy this name. So if I go back here and I type /multiple -file -upload, I press enter. Oh, I forgot .html. You see that now that came up. So now I can drag and drop files here, or I can click the select. So let's do both methods. So I'm going to click select files here. So you see what happens. This is the hover effect. You see that hover effect? See what happens here. You see the shadow will come here. So that's all styling. So I click on that, and let me go find some images. I'll go to the tutorial here. Where was the gallery here? So I'm going to use AVF files. So this one here, and this one, and this one. There's 3 of them. So I click open. See, it says 3 files selected, and you see the upload was successful. It's really, really fast, right? So to prove that this was uploaded successfully, let's check the database. So we go here. I'm going to do a refresh. You see upload files, and it's telling me there's 3 rows. So let's go check them out. And here we go. You see 1, 2, 3, and that's the 1, 2, 3 here. Image/avf, image/hdf, and you see this is the file size of those, and you see this is file data, and this is the time, and this time is accurate. You see, I started this live stream at 2 p.m. You see it's 14. That's 14.00 my time, and you can see the files are all saved at the same time. It's very instant because I'm obviously local. Now I'm not going to delete them. I'm just going to leave them as they are. Now it's not in the uploads folder because this was for a different tutorial. They're being saved inside the database. That was the point of this tutorial. I want to show you how you can save binary files into the database. Now you can also drag and drop. So now we're going to try the drag and drop. So I need to find some images. You can do one or multiple, but this is multiple. So I will let's go back. Let's go back to that. Where's the gallery? Gallery here. and this time I'm going to use JPEG just to make a little bit difference. I'm going to take this. I'm going to use JPEGs this time, so I'm going to take this JPEG, and this JPEG. So remember, before they were AVIF, this time it's JPEG, so just drag them, and I drag. You see what happens? You have that little that as well. You see when I'm away, and I click this as well, and you see it says also. Did you see the quickly? Did you see the progress bar came up very quickly? So again, let's go check the database. I'm just going to refresh here, and you see before we did 3 and we did 3 again. You see those, the first 3 I did were all image/avf. This time it's image/jpeg. So image/, and you see the reason I use avf is because you can see it compresses way better. The file size is way smaller than the JPEGs, and you can see the time is different as well. You see it's this time was at 1438. So I'll take a short break, and Apex India Boy has another question. MariaDB or SQL is the same? Is both can work on PHP MyAdmin? Yes. So MariaDB and MySQL are essentially the same. Correct. Yes. MariaDB was started by the same person who created MySQL. He just forked MySQL, and him and obviously a group of volunteers and community members. They do maintain MariaDB. So MySQL, the my part was the name of his daughter. So when he did MariaDB, that was the name of his other daughter. So if you check here, where's it here? Where's my mouse? So for example, you can just type MariaDB history just quickly. So you can see here MariaDB originated in 2009. It's a fork of MySQL. It was created by Michael Monty Wedenius, one of the original developers of MySQL. So you can read more about it. So to answer your question, it's a drop-in replacement for most of this stuff. It's fine, meaning that you can, if you have MySQL, you can obviously move to MariaDB. You can also move back. There are some things which are slightly different, but for the most part, it won't be a problem. So to answer your question, yes, I know here, this is what I was trying to say. You see, he named the new project after his second daughter, Maria, similar to how MySQL was named after his first daughter, Maya. So so yes. So to answer your question, yes, both of them can work with PHP MyAdmin. And if you want PHP MyAdmin, so we can go to PHP MyAdmin. Let's see, there we go. So here's PHP MyAdmin. It's also another free open source. And you see here, PHP MyAdmin is a free software tool written in PHP intended to handle administration of MySQL over the web. PHP MyAdmin supports a wide range of operations on MySQL and MariaDB. So I said the drop-in replacement, you'll be able to work with either one you want. Alright, so that's basically the tutorial. And I said this tutorial is just to show you how to handle the files. Now I want to show you, you can also make it fail. So I'm going to make it fail. I'm going to put a different file this time. So let's go back to our file here and go back to here we go. So this time I'm going to drag something different. Remember, it wants only image files, right? So this time I'm going to try to drag and drop this HTML file, and actually, since it's multiple, let's grab this and put them here. It said upload successful. That shouldn't have happened. Did it actually save it in the database? Oh no, okay, yeah, it probably saved it in the database. Yeah, I did save it in the database. So there you go. You see the HTML here. It says text/HTML, and this one is text/x-php, and you can see the file size. Obviously, they're very small. Now, if I do this, if I hit select, and I'm going to go to the upload, to the multiple upload. Now, if see, it doesn't even show me the files. You see that? because it when you put the accept, it's only going to accept image files, so it won't even accept it. But you can do one file. So in this case, I'm going to do only one file, this one here. I click open. You see upload successful, and if we go to the database, the last one should be the, yeah, you see it's right here. So you can do multiple files or one file. It's all up to you. As you can see here, this is a and you can see the time is also different. It says 42:57 seconds as opposed to 42 and 4 seconds. Okay, so maybe I should, you know what? I think what I'll do is I'll do one more tutorial in this series, where what I'll do is I'll show you how to grab the information from the database and then display it, and maybe delete stuff as well, because I think you guys will probably like that as well. I'll do an upload preview, so I will take the code we have right now, and I'll show you how you can do upload and preview the image, so you can actually view it. So for example, right now, you guys probably don't know how to grab this image from the database and display it, right? So maybe I will do another part of that. So yeah, so yeah, I'll probably do that just to show you when the image is done. Maybe even give a link to it so you can see, or the links to all of the images. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I think that will be probably the next tutorial. All right, so that's it, the tutorial there. I guess if you want to get the code, I said the code is up on the article, or if you want to just type everything, because from here you can do the same thing. Okay, now let's finish this up. Let's go here and finish this up. So if you're ready to master PHP, this backend process is a core skill for serious web developer. If you're a beginner ready to dive deep into PHP, I highly recommend checking out my resources. I do, just a second, I'll put that. I have a book called Learning PHP. It's available on Amazon. It's a perfectly structured guide for building a strong foundation in PHP. The link is also in the description. I have a course called Learning PHP. It's available on jamboshop.com. It's a comprehensive online course designed to keep you from novice to take you from novice to confident PHP developer. And if you need hands-on help with your projects, I'm available for one-on-one programming tutorials and services like framework updates or migration. You can contact me for direct consultation on jambo.com/contact. So Jagdish Lodi has asked how to add a video to PHP MyAdmin. You can do the same thing. Remember, I just let me show you. I don't know if, oh, you know what? I do have a short video. I'll show you how to do that as well. So you can upload anything. So I do have a short video, so I'll show you that here. I have, because I'm recording now. Oh, I forgot to create a short video. Shoot. Let me see videos. Do I have any videos here? Some of this might be big. Let me see. That's a little bit big. Let me see if there's a small version. Okay, this is a smaller one. So this is a video. I'll prove it to you, it's a video. Hello, this is so you can see it's a video, right? So I can simply just drag it, put it here. You see? Oh, there was that's most likely the file was too big. So you see, it said there's that file was way too big. So that's why I said I need a smaller. But it would work if everything came out well. It should work. It might actually even save it. Let's see if it actually saved it. No, it didn't save it. So the file was too big. The reason for that is in my PHP INI, I probably have a limit. It's called a PHP upload limit. Actually, it might actually show up here. Yeah, here we go. So it tells us here there was a problem with the MySQL server. Let's see what the error is. It says the error, MySQL server went away. Oh, okay, so it looks like the problem was the MySQL server. And I expect the file was way too big. That's what I expect happened. The file was way too big. That's most likely what happened here. The file was too big. So as I said, yeah, it's not a good idea to save binary files in the database. It's better to save them outside. Yes, you can increase the PHP limit. Let me show you how to do that. So what you do is, actually, you know what? That's a good. Yeah, let me say locate php.ini. Let me see where php.ini is. Yeah, here we go, /etc/php. So let me go open that up. Nano /etc/php.ini. Okay. So then we go to, I'm going to search for, I think it's memory limit. Yeah, this memory limit is set to 2 gigs, so that should probably be fine. Let's check the upload. There's also another one called upload limit. I think it's upload file or something like that. Oh, yeah, there's another one. I think it's max. I think it's max upload. Max upload, something like that. Come on, you're embarrassing me here. Let's just type upload. File uploads. Upload to make sure the file upload is set to on. Yeah, here we go. You see the file max upload size is set to. This is also 1 gig. That should be fine. And then you see the max file uploads are set to 20 in a single. So this looks like this should be fine. But you have to remember is that it's a video file, even though it says it's 30 megabytes. The problem is when it converts it into a text, it's probably going to be it might even be a gig. So I probably need to increase this, but I really don't want to. I said a better option would be to save the files outside, not in the database. It's not a good idea to save them in the database. That's why I was also using AVF files, because they're usually smaller. They have less content even when they're decompressed. So I do have tutorials that show you how to save them outside. So what normally you do is, you can also dynamically resize them. That's correct. Yeah, you can also do that. I have done a tutorial of this as well. So you know what? I think I'll do that in the next tutorial. I'll show you. It will be next week. I'll show you how to dynamically resize and save them in a different place. You shouldn't save them in a database. What you can save in a database are stuff like the file name, the MIME type, the size, and when you upload it, not the file data. The file data instead should be maybe the path to where you put the data. An example is actually right here. If I go back here, you see this uploads, this folder here. I mean this database table. You see what I did here? All I did is I just put the file name and the uploader, and then I was able to grab, see this file name here, file name here, file name here, and this corresponds to right here. When we go to, let's go back to the data here, tutorial, multiple uploads. You see this uploads folder? These are the uploads folder. You see this matches this guy's here, and then you can just link to them. So that is a better way. That's a much better way than saving binary files in the database. If the files are very, very small, like say thumbnails, very small thumbnails or avatars, yeah, you can get away with putting them inside the database. What I'm saying is that the best option is always to save them separately in a folder here, especially if it's outside the web root. And then you can simply, when you do a backup, you can just back up there. The problem is I want to show you guys something. So if we take a look at the file size of this database, or this database, so I'll just go here and it should tell us the file size of them. So, oops, I clicked the wrong one. I have to click, yeah, it's a database. What is going on here? Why is it not showing me? It's not showing me the tables for some, is it? Oh, it is. Oh, it's this. I was looking for this. So for example, let's pay attention to this 3 from the bottom, this uploads underscore file and this upload, and these users, which is just a plain one. So if we go here, you see the size, look at this, 1.5 megabytes, right? So that's pretty big, and this one is 16 because those files are pretty small, and then this one is 32 kilobytes. So you can see this is another bad reason for saving stuff in the database, especially when it's that big. This can get really, really, really big, and so those images I'm using, they're already lower resolution. So you can imagine if you have big ones, this could easily be in the gigabytes, right? So that's not an efficient or smart way to do that. It's always better to save them as separately as files, and then you just have simple, 16 kilobytes, just like this one is 16. So that's the uploads folder. That's the example I gave you compared to this upload files, where the files are actually saved into the database. So you guys learned something today. It's not a good idea to save binary files in the database. Save them in a folder, and you can move the folder outside the web. But I said we'll do one more tutorial on this, and I'll show you how I'll show you a better option than saving them into the database, and how we can also delete and do a preview. And I like your idea. What I'll also do is, I'll also we'll also dynamic. You know what? I'm going to write it right down here so I remember for the next tutorial. So we're going to do dynamic resize. It'll be dynamic resize. You can also dynamically resize videos. I think I've done a tutorial on that, but next one we'll just do. Can you compress files or videos in PHP MyAdmin? Not really, because they're saved as text, so not really. The one way you can compress things is SQLi. SQLi has a built-in function where you can actually compress it. With MySQL, you probably need some type of extension, but it's not worth it. It's always better to save it as files. Files are also easy because for backups and everything, it will be much faster. As I said, remember, this video file and the images I'm using, they are low resolution. So if you imagine, I'm saying even from a phone these days, you can get like 8, 16K, 32K just for one image. So trying to put that into the database doesn't make sense, because I said you're going to be using lots of gigabytes of space, which doesn't make sense. So it's always better to save them in the files, because disk space is plentiful and cheap these days. And you can also resize. I said we'll do that in the next tutorial. That's going to be on the 29th. I'll show you guys how to dynamically resize as well for the upload. And also maybe the week after that we'll do the video files as well. Okay, so with that said, quick reminder, I do a live stream every day at 2 p.m. Eastern. You visit ojambo.com and you go to watch menu, live summary. You can see the topics for this and upcoming tutorials. Be sure, you guys, if you like AI stuff, I have very lot of tips for tomorrow's AI tutorial. And also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. It helps the channel grow. I'd like to thank everybody who subscribed so far this month. Keep it up. Let's help other people find the channel, and so that people can become better programmers, or just get more knowledgeable about programming. Okay, I also have 2 resources I want to plug. I have a referral link here. As you guys know, I'm in a rural area and I use SpaceX Starlink. So if you're interested in SpaceX Starlink, the residential service, you can use my referral link. If you do, I'll get 1 month free, and you will get discount. The length of the discount will depend on your, or the type will depend on your geographical location. And I also have this novelette. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. It's about a scientist who creates an AI and loses his mind. So not only does he have to regain his mind, he has to regain control of the AI which has gone amok. And you see there, that's Edward Ojambo. It's available on Amazon. The one I'm holding up right now is the paperback version, and there's also ebook version. And the good thing about the ebook version is if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can also get it for free. So it's also very affordable. I checked it out yesterday, as you saw. It's the lowest price I can put there. So I make very low money. I think I make like maybe 50 cents both from the ebook version and from the paperback version. So there we go. I think Jagdes, He says, can I compress files or videos in PHP? I thought I answered that. Okay, so maybe I think I already answered that. Yes. So I said I'll show you in the next tutorial. I'll make sure I have a very large image, and I'll show you what I did to compress. You can also resize on the upload. That's another option. So you can use JavaScript to actually resize both the video and the video and any image, and I'll show you that. So next time what we'll do is, as I said on the 29th, I'll show you how to dynamically resize the video, the images, and then after that I'll show you how to dynamically resize the videos the week after that. Okay guys, so with no more requests, chat requests, so I'm going to end this video live stream. And the weather was really bad. I think it's supposed to be a thunderstorm soon, so I might do a live stream tonight. I'm not sure what it will be about because I want to keep the AI stuff to tomorrow. So maybe I'm not sure what to do tonight. Maybe I'll do a Q&A. So if you guys want, I think if I do one tonight, it'll just be a Q&A. So it'll be 8:30 p.m. Eastern time tonight. So maybe I'll just do a Q&A. You guys can ask me anything, and maybe we can actually do anything. Especially if you want to do a continuation of this, we can do that tonight. You know what? I think maybe that's what I'll do tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. It'll be a Q&A. What I'll do is I'll convert what I've done here today to I'll add the features for the what do you call it? The dynamic resize and the video resize. And then what I'll do is I'll take that I'll take some of that code and then create articles later. The time is 12:30 a.m. Okay, so wow, so it's early in the morning, very early in the morning for you. So the time here is it's 3 p.m. here. So right now it's 3 p.m. for me. For me, it is 3 p.m. in Southern Ontario. Yeah, for me it's 3 p.m. So 8:30 p.m. would be 5 hours, 5 hours and 30 minutes from now. Yeah, 5 hours and 30 minutes from now. So I'm guessing that'll be like what, 6 o'clock in the morning for you. So I don't know if that's too early, but yeah. So I might do that tonight. Oh, you can wait. You know what? Maybe we can do it. The name of the book. It's the Algorithmic Serpent on Amazon. Oops, it's on Amazon. I also have Learning PHP on Amazon. The link is in the description. The link is in the description. Okay guys, so yeah, we'll see you guys most likely tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or otherwise I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments. I already said that. Alright, so I'm going to end this now. Bye guys, thanks again for joining the live chat, and I'll see you later tonight. Bye now, have a great day.